President Kenyatta is looking forward to hosting President Zuma, who is making the first state visit by a South African head of state to our country. President Zuma will land here in Kenya for a 3-day visit on Monday and is accompanied by a large business delegation. President Zuma will be received warmly, including with a 21-gun salute and a guard of honor mounted by the Kenya Defense Forces when formal reception ceremonies are held here at State House on Tuesday morning. President Kenyatta will then host President Zuma to one-on-one talks, formal bilateral talks between the two governments, and then the two leaders will hold a joint news conference. In the afternoon of the Tuesday, President Kenyatta and President Zuma will address a Kenya-South Africa Business Forum before President Zuma returns to State House for a state banquet hosted in his honor by our president. We do expect that issues of trade, immigration, and security will dominate the bilateral talks. The presidents will be seeking to tackle non-tariff barriers, remove barriers impeding greater people-to-people contact between our two countries, and examine ways to cooperate and collaborate in the security area in an increasingly globalized environment. Immigration is a key item for Kenyans, and especially for business, as well as Kenyans living in the diaspora in Southern Africa, in the kingdoms of Lesotho and Swaziland, in Botswana, in Namibia, in Malawi, in Zimbabwe, and in Zambia. These Kenyans have raised the matter directly with the president, and he will be taking it up on their behalf with the president of South Africa and his delegation. You may recall that earlier this year, South Africa agreed to introduce visa exemptions for holders of diplomatic and official passports, decrease visa fees, issue 3-year multiple entry visas for frequent travelers, issue 10-year multiple entry visas for frequent business travelers and academics, issue study visas covering the duration of study and extend permanent residence to those studying within the critical skills category, and finally remove the transit visa requirement for travelers transiting through South African airports. What President Kenyatta will now be seeking is to fast-track implementation of this agreement and to ensure that policy changes are implemented with greater urgency. On the trade front, President Kenyatta will specifically be seeking to mitigate the high levies Kenya's tea exports face in South Africa, and also look at restrictions against other products, including but not limited to soda ash and processed meat. In terms of security, the heads of state will be seeking to consolidate and expand their counterterrorism efforts in a bid to more effectively and strategically push back against the twin threats of violent extremism and radicalization. They will also discuss Kenya's progress in the matter of refugee repatriation, and President Kenyatta will be seeking President Zuma's support in terms of how these processes are held. As you know, South Africa itself holds a large refugee population from its neighbors. President Kenyatta and President Zuma will then discuss their partnerships on a number of multilateral issues.